to season 2, episode 2 of The Conversation. I am Sybil, your host here at Mill Spouse Conversations, and I am super excited about today's talk. But before we get into that, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, USAA. USAA is the sponsor of The Conversations for season 2. Thank you so very much. And hey, USAA just isn't an acronym. With roots grounded in the military, they understand us. So go on over, check them out at usaa.com. All right, guys, are you ready for the conversation? I'm going to bring on, because we have a special guest, I'm going to bring on our guest first. Miss Yolanda, give it up! Hey, yo!
Hi.
All right, conversation starters. Are y'all ready to talk about what to expect when you marry a military member? Now, before we really get started with that, I want Miss Yolanda to introduce herself because, hey, this lady has done 32 years. What, girlfriend?
Oh my goodness. Problems with the mic. I can't hear, and you sound like a robot, and I can't make out what you're saying.
I am a robot.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Let me see.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me loud and clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Yolanda is getting her mic together, we're going to go ahead and get this party started. Or do you want me to tell folks about you, Yolanda? I'll tell you about Yolanda. So she has been married to her retired commander, Dexter Triplett, for 32 years. I said her retired. Oh my goodness. Her military member who retired commander in the Navy for 32 years. She has 2 daughters, and she attended Mississippi State University for 2 years, and then she got married. Years later, she went to school for medical billing and coding. She has worked various jobs over 32 years. So, hey, we can have her come back and talk to us about spouse employment as well. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. Have you come back at a later time. Can you hear me now, Yolanda? Yes, no, maybe? We don't know?
No.
That's okay. This is live, y'all. Hey, it's live. Live TV.
Can I leave and come back in?
You may.
No? Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So, conversation starters. First question for you, as well as our audience, because look, I like to know. I like to know these things. How long have you been married to your military member?
19 years. 20 years.
19, 20,
15.
15, 20, almost 20 here. So some of us have some photos from our wedding.
Oh,
okay.
Y'all want to see what we looked like? You know, some of us were really young.
We were babies.
Show us your photos.
Where is mine?
It's on my phone.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it up close. Y'all, I am trying to work this back.
Oh, Julie.
Look at that hair. That's so beautiful.
Oh, look at that. You're so happy.
Those were the days.
Great.
Yes.
Oh, now that was Grace's
Oh.
second.
That's our second ceremony. Yeah, our family and friends were at this one, the real one.
And we talked about that during an episode last year about our wedding. So we'll have to show that. We'll have to share that episode so you can hear about Grace's wedding. Lori, do you have your photo?
I do. Yeah.
Oh.
So cute.
Does anyone else have their photo?
I will have to post mine in the comments after this.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't have a photo.
Oh, Yolanda. Look at that. Oh.
Oh.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
got it.
Okay.
So while we have you here, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay. My name is Yolanda Triplett from Louisville, Mississippi. Married to Dexter Triplett. He just retired October 1, 2021, after 32 years and some change. We have 2 daughters, 25 and 27, about to be 26 and 28. Let's see what else. I think that's it on that part. I guess I'll come in and say stuff later, but
All right. And I'm going to show you guys my picture real quick, and then we're going to dive in. Because, look, we want to know more from you, Yolanda, because 32 years, y'all. So here's my photo of me and my sugar pie. And look, yo, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know what to expect. As a matter of fact, it didn't even dawn on me that he was in the Navy until
You have to zoom in on yours. We can't see it.
there you go. Can you see it?
So cute.
I did not realize that he was in the military until we were standing at the altar. Right? Go figure. So let's go ahead and dive in. Did you know what to expect when you said?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
So
not.
I was dating who was going to be my spouse. I had been dating him since high school. And so I was familiar with the whole thing, but still didn't know what I was getting into at all. I think I thought it was going to be different once I said I do.
What was the biggest shock?
That you can't plan your life at all. You don't know where you're going to be. You can't plan to have your spouse with you at anything, even the birth of your baby. Luckily, mine was at the birth of both my babies, but I've had male spouse friends were not, they can't go with you usually to any appointments, things like that,
Like nothing's guaranteed.
Yes. And you just don't know where they're going to be and when. And, mine is tied to a flight schedule. So the flight schedule can change at the drop of a dime. Those sorts of things, I think, was the biggest thing for me to get used to.
Yeah. What about you, Julie? I want to hear your story.
Well, when I met my husband, he had been in the Army, and I thought that was cool. And we got married, and that was all in his past. So I wasn't marrying a military man. I was marrying a veteran. And turns out when we've been married 3.5 years, he rejoined. So everything changed. And I had no idea how hard it would hit me, how hard the distance would hit me and solo parenting and all that. I just had no idea. I mean, I knew it would be hard, but I just didn't realize how hard it would be. So,
because when you guys got married, you moved across. Well, you went to a whole nother country.
Yeah, we ended up. Our first duty station was Germany. So,
yeah. So you went from civilian life, thinking you're marrying the civilian, to nope.
Well, I remember going, okay, well, one year, like Thanksgiving will be with my parents and Christmas will be with yours. And then the next year we'll switch off and we'll just do that.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So yeah, I just like, it wasn't something that I thought was going to be a part of my life, but then we made the decision together to make it a part of our lives. And then when we made that decision, I remember like us going for a walk and just kind of dreaming like we can go to Europe and then we'll go to Japan and then we'll like where will we end up? We have no idea. And so yeah, we did go to Europe. And then we ended up at Fort Campbell. So, and we're still there. But I just didn't know. I didn't know that it could be so unexpected, I guess. Like, because our first deployment went from like 9 months to 11 months to 12 months to 15 months. And so like that whole experience was just like, what in the heck?
So all the unknowns, and they hit fast, and they hit
and
hard.
how they made me feel and how I dealt with them. So that was kind of my surprise.
Yeah. Lori. So if you guys don't know, Lori is our new conversation starter. Welcome aboard for 2022.
Yay!
She
Welcome.
is repping. She's repping Air Force.
Yep.
Look, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Let me give Lori the look. Air Force. And wait a minute. The first time I talked to Lori, she told me she liked to run. Girl, no. We ain't running. We don't run.
She was like, no, I'll think about it. Oh man, our story is different. My husband and I are high school sweethearts.
Aww.
And he said, well, I'm thinking about proposing to you. And I said, well, I'll say no. What's your plan? You haven't told me your plan in life. So he said, well, I've always wanted to join the military. And me knowing nothing, I was like, sure, do it. I mean, it's a plan. I'll follow you wherever. And he was like, really? It'll be difficult. And I was like, I don't care. So he joined, or we got married, and then he joined. And then I had no idea what to expect. Absolutely none. Nobody in my family, besides my grandfather, served in the military. So I had no idea. And he got out after World War II. So I had no idea. So, but my grandpa, actually, my other grandpa, he was friends with a Navy pilot who knew about a book. And so I read this book that talked about like what to expect on a base and what it means when you're going through the gate and like all this stuff. So I thought I'm going to know exactly what to do when I get on the base, which it helped with a little bit, but nothing prepares you for being in the military.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. All right. Grace, Nishida. What about you guys? Did you know what to expect?
I had no idea what to expect. The only, I guess, expectation that I did have in my mind is that we were going to move a lot. But honestly, that's not really what happened. I mean, our orders have changed a lot, but there was like no moving between these orders coming our way. It's just craziness. Everything's unexpected. You make a plan and then you go to plan B, then plan C, then back to plan A. And it's just a whirlwind. And I don't think there's any true way to have expectations when you're marrying someone in the military other than to be flexible. In the Marine Corps, it's Semper Gumby, and that's always flexible. So that's just the way we live. And
Did you just say Semper? What did you say?
Gumby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Semper Gumby, always flexible, because I mean, at least in the Marine Corps, orders can change in 5 minutes. They can change the day you're walking out, the day you're packing out. We've been through it. So yeah, just don't have any expectations is my advice.
None.
None. Well, on that note, I want to ask our guest, Miss Yolanda, because she has been doing this for 32 years. We're going to come back to you, Nishida, but with what Grace just said about being flexible. Now, Yolanda, 32 years.
Yeah, you have to be very flexible. Very flexible. It it's over 32 years. Majority has been good. I'm gonna go back to flexible again. You have to, I guess, I guess for me, the bad thing that I didn't in the end didn't like was okay. I didn't get a chance to get started in the career that I wanted to start out from the beginning. Um, my kids always say, "Well, you can go back to school now. You can go back to school now. You can." I mean, I know I can go back, but sometimes you don't always feel like it, or it's overall it was good. My husband changed career. Yeah, changed jobs 3 times, so it was like he came in the military as a AE, electrician on the F-14s, I think it is, and then he stayed there for 3 years, and then he went to be an air traffic controller for 5 years, and and then he decided, okay, I can make more money on the outside as an air traffic controller, so I'm gonna get out. That was in 96 or 97, 97. So I said, okay, whatever. And and then he decided to he said, well, before I get out from being an air traffic controller, I always wanted to fly. So let me put my package in for this pilot's program and blah blah blah. So
Wait a
didn't get
minute
picked.
now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, what did you say when he was like, "Wait a minute, no, I don't want to get out," like, because
At,
that.
at
Mm.
at that time, the girls were younger. They were like 96, one 194, one 196. So the baby was 1 2. So at that point, I didn't care whatever. I was doing home daycare, so because I wanted to be home with my kids, but um, it didn't matter to me. But his first year, when he put the package in, he didn't get picked up. So if you know my husband, you know he's the type person. Oh, absolutely not. What's wrong? Something happened. Well, blah blah blah. But anyway, he did it with a buddy. So the buddy got picked up and he didn't. So that just didn't set well with him. So anyway, he put the package in again and got picked up the next year. Um so then after that we went to Ole Miss for their ROTC program. So he graduated and he got commissioned in 2001. But like I said, you have to be flexible. It's been good overall. My dream was to become an attorney. I'm still not that. So I'm going back and forth with that now. It's like, do I want, so we're empty nesters. So of course I can't put it on this and can't put it on that at that point. But right now, just like physically and mentally, do I want to go back to school for all these years? And then, to be honest with you, all I keep thinking about is the student loan debt from finishing up school. Because I did start out school. So to finish up school, and then after you get done with that, to go to law school, um, all I keep thinking about is that probably 125, 150, $200,000 in student loans, and I just say, yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I mean, mentally, I want to do it, but that student loan debt is saying, no, you better leave that alone. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's my stopper. So maybe I can get me a celebrity. Maybe I can put my story out there, and some celebrity
There
and
you
say,
go.
you know what? She's a veteran's wife, and he served the country for 32 years. We're gonna donate. We're gonna do this, and so we'll see. So maybe
Yeah,
someone will see this and
they'll
say,
be
you
like,
know what? Yeah,
"Hey."
and I would
You could
gladly
start a
appreciate that.
GoFundMe page.
Yeah, there you go.
GoFundMe.
Yeah. So
Tell your story.
32 years
Yeah,
and flexibility. And hey, look, she went through 3 changes, 3 different job types, one
yeah,
from
3 different.
enlisted to officer.
Yeah,
Which
enlisted
that's
as
a
a
discussion that I would love to have in the future as well, because
right, right.
hey, that's a real conversation to have there.
Hmm.
Right. And I
And
do tell a lot of people, especially because I worked at PSD and um um ID cars. So when I did see the younger sales, I would talk to them about that. Hey, my husband's probably came as an E2, at that time he might have been on 03 at the time, maybe 04. But anyway, he retired as a 05, but in October. But try to talk to younger people because I tried to get my daughter to join because she really didn't know what she wanted to do. I tried to get her to join. I said, hey, join the military. If you don't like it, at least you'll have your GI Bill and blah, blah, blah. She wasn't having it. So, so, so it didn't work out. But she went on to, went to where he went to school. She went to Ole Miss. She graduated in 3 years. And I'm proud of her now. She just got a promotion for Amazon. She's an area manager. So like I told her, I said, girl, there are people that work 20, 30 years don't make the money that you're making at 25 years old. So I'm very proud of her. My other daughter, she didn't finish school, so I try to stay on her. It's like, girl, I want you to do more than what I did. Try to stay on her, in that route. But I'm working on her, trying to go back to. But she got a promotion too. She's in management, but not as high as my other daughter. But still, I'm very proud of both of them.
I'm proud
yeah,
of your daughters too. I never got to officially meet them when
yeah,
we were together in Hawaii. So I know Yolanda from Hawaii.
yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
I do remember talking. We talked a lot about raising kids.
yeah,
Because hey, look, I needed another mil spouse to help me with advice and some guidance. And I'm like, hey, yo, I kind of attached myself to her. And that's something that in this space, you know, don't be afraid to go alongside another military spouse and ask
yeah.
them for help. Help them,
True.
ask them for guidance because they are there to help you. Hey.
Right. And I don't mind. That's one thing about me. I don't mind asking questions. I don't mind. If I know something, I can promise you I'm gonna try to help you. Like one spouse, um, I helped before I left Hawaii. She happened to be, I don't know how did I meet her. I think one of the pages, the local pages around there, and she wanted to
I know what page.
she wanted to start. Now, I don't know if you
Yolanda
follow.
likes purses and candles.
Oh, you know what? I'm backing away from the candles, but the handbags. Mm, I got one in
I learned
today.
to
But
coupon with
oh, now
Yolanda.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
coupon fanatic now. That's one thing about me now. I'm gonna be a cheapskate. I'm gonna coupon until I don't care. Like thank God he retired and he works for Delta. Thank God, so he has a good job, and I don't care how much money he makes. I'm gonna coupon. I'm gonna cut my coupons. I'm gonna shop in clearance racks. I'm gonna live just like we make $500 a month. I do. Except for my handbag. I gotta have my handbags. Outside of that,
Oh yes, her handbags, her handbags. But
outside of
Nikita,
that,
we'll come back, Yolanda.
okay,
I'm watching the time. I'm watching the time. I'm watching the
okay,
time. My
okay.
kids have me on a timer today because my youngest, who is OCD. Yolanda, you love Helen. That's her buddy.
She's a character. She's a
She's
character.
she is cooking dinner tonight, and she has me
Okay.
on the timer. So, sorry. um, Nishida, what did you expect when you became a military, or did you expect anything?
Well, I was already in the military, so I got married as a military spouse. I didn't get married as I got married as a dual military spouse. So we
Okay.
were both in the service. So I didn't I
So it
already
wasn't
knew
like
what
a
the
big,
military
big
was about.
change.
Yeah, it wasn't the change was that I didn't consider that I was going to be a military spouse.
Hmm.
And I still don't fit in that community well. Because well because it's hard because so once you've been on the side with the service member, some of the things you hear the spouses say, you can't relate to it the same way because it just hits different.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Makes sense.
you know what the service member is going through.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're just a military spouse, not just, but if you're a military spouse, you've never lived that life on the ship or if out to on the post or you just haven't experienced that, so it's just a little different. And I didn't know there was a whole the way they talk about military spouses when you're in the service is not the same way as it's talked about when you're out. So it's like, I guess that for me, that was a disregarded group. I didn't consider military spouses. I didn't think about them. I didn't think about what they were doing. I didn't think about what they were talking about, what they wanted to do, what they cared about, their kids, none of that. And it kind of transferred over when I became a military spouse. I kind of still was like, what? I don't know what y'all are talking about. But after a while, so I was in the military for 10 years and I've been a spouse for 10 years. So I guess it kind of evened out, but it's still kind of difficult sometimes, I have to admit. And I think that also we lived like in the States for a while. That's a totally different life as a military spouse overseas.
Yeah.
So overseas, you really are just kind of isolated to that group in a way that you aren't in the States. In the States, you live in your house, you have your regular schmegular neighbors. Sometimes they're military spouses, sometimes they're not. Most of the time they're not. Your kids play with civilian kids. Like, it's just, I never even had to acknowledge it, that I was a military spouse. I could just still be a regular person. So there was that gap there between the time we were in the States and then we left and went to Japan. And I was like, what? Like, is this? I didn't know. And then after that, I worked for MWR in the States. So I just kept working for them. And then that's different too, because I could still ignore that I was a military spouse and just be like, oh, I'm still serving the military.
You could ignore
it? I could ignore it. Like, because I worked in the capacity of, like, I served the military spouses and the service members who came in the office. And then I went home and I didn't really participate in many things except for, like, when I had to host events or I had to host different things. But, like, I talked to Sybil, but, talking to Sybil, she's not really, like, she doesn't talk. She's like, talking to Sybil is like,
don't tell what it's like talking to Sybil.
Okay, me and Sybil would have lunch, right? And it was almost like in my mind, I was back in the States talking to just a regular person, because she didn't talk about a lot of things military spouses talked about. Like, we talked about other things besides, like, where our spouse was. I'm not going to say I could and care less. I mean, I missed him, but I had a whole life. So my life didn't revolve around where's he at, what's he doing, until he didn't call me. We had our private stuff. I'd be like, where you know what I'm saying, like this kind of stuff. But I didn't share that a lot with other people. Like, that's not something I talked about out in public, because once I got off the phone, I didn't care. So I would talk to people like Sybil, and it was almost like I still didn't have to acknowledge it, and then I did, but in a way that it was just, I don't know, it just still feels kind of separate sometimes, if that makes sense.
You had to acknowledge it when we had our roasted peanuts and cherry Coke.
Yes, but it's still, like, it still wasn't. Now, we lived on a military base when we were in Texas, but I left that base so much, and I went out into town so much that I still didn't, I didn't form relationships. I didn't think, oh, let me band up with some military spouses because I'm a military spouse and I need support. I just never felt like I needed support.
You just
went on about my business.
Yeah, you lived your life.
Yeah.
But
so
that's
sometimes, like, when you say, do you know what to expect? I still don't. When we moved to a different, I'm serious. Like, when we moved to a different place, I'm still like, what's going to happen here? Whereas everybody else is like, let me get on a group. Let me find my people. Let me go find out who's doing this. Let me search for this person. I'm just like, let me pack my bags. Like, let me put, what do I need for this paperwork? My husband's sending me paperwork, like, and I know the paperwork. I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. Like, I get an attitude about it, but I don't feel like, I still don't do it. I still don't reach out, but I advocate for other people to do it. And that's so hypocritical, right? But I do because I know it can be isolating.
Mm-hmm.
It can be,
Mhm.
it just is a weird space for me, but I relate. Like, I can empathize with spouses who are like, I just got thrown into this, and I know a lot of resources and stuff. I'm like, hey, you should take advantage of this, do that. But on the inside of myself, I struggle to be the military spouse that I probably advocate other people to be. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. As you're watching this, drop in the comments if you're a military spouse. Did you know what to expect when you marry your military member? And if you're not a military spouse watching this episode, tell me, do you know what military life is like? Do you know someone that's in the military? Do you wonder what their life is really like? Hey, that's what we're here to share. Every first and third Thursday, we're going to be sharing from our personal experiences as military spouses. We are the resource, right? I know a lot of times people are like, well, what resources are you sharing? Us. We are the resource. When you come to Milspouse Conversations, we share our personal stories and experiences. And hey, your individual story inspires someone else. All right. I'm going to tell you, I didn't know what to expect. As I told you guys earlier, I didn't even realize my husband was in the Navy until we were standing at the altar. Yeah, literally standing at the altar. Now, I know y'all like, did you meet him on the street?
Right.
No, we met in college. He was a college student. He went to class and I went to the party. Hey, I was partying and he was in class. Well, I mean, I was a student, but I chose to go to the party over studying. Kids, don't listen. Don't do what I did. But I had no clue what to expect. And we were married, went on our honeymoon, and he left. We came back. He was home for a week, and then boom, he was out. And he went to subs. He was on submarines, our very first duty station. So he was, hey, subs. I had no communication with him. I was like, all right, bye, babe. Oh, you're home? Okay. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't know anything about going to the commissary. I was like, what's the commissary? Literally, I was like, what's the commissary? Oh, the grocery store? I'm going to go to Walmart down the street. And that was what I did. But over the years, I've been doing this for 20 years, and there's still a lot of things that I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. Because as the lady said earlier, each duty station brings something new to the table. And, throughout the years with new ranks, things are new, right? So when we started out, all right, now we're here and it's like, oh, what? Do what? Oh, okay. Yep. And I am horrible. 20 years, y'all gonna be like, Sybil, really? I can't tell you anything about insignia. When military spouses are talking to me about the rank insignias and the jobs, I don't know what y'all talking about. If y'all gave me a test right now, I would fail. I don't know what any of that stuff looks like. What?
Oh my goodness.
I know. Yolanda, don't get me. Don't get
I don't
me.
know. I don't know them all. Like I said, he just retired. There's some stuff I still don't know.
You didn't
But if I was standing next to and then I was standing next to a captain, I'm gonna know the difference.
Well, I know that. I can
okay.
tell you that, but like And then, I'm just like, I have my ID card. I know that gets me on base. I know if I call about anything or I show up at medical, I need to know his social. Like, hey.
You need to know it more than young.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yes. Yes. All right,
They
ladies.
still think that I'm my husband. Like, they still think I'm in the service. When I show up, yeah, they'll use like, they'll make me the service member like every single time we move for medical. It's ridiculous. Like, every single time they'll be like, I'm gonna send you to Navy medicine. I'm like, no, I need to be in dependent care. They're like, aren't you Warrant Officer Cruz? I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not me. And that always, it just doesn't matter. I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
We're gonna pause real quick. We'll pause real quick. I'm gonna bring somebody up here on the screen. Today is Miss Julie's birthday. Now, last episode, we had Anna, who was celebrating a birthday on that episode. And then Grace came shortly after. Hold on, let me put her picture up. Grace's birthday was like 2 days after the episode. And actually, you can find her birthday story on our Instagram page. It's still in the story. There's a little, I saved it. It's celebration. So, watch her not her little birthday celebration, her birthday story. And all right, Julie, Miss Julie Provost. Now, she is our Army, as you guys know, she is our Army National Guard spouse. And she's also the owner of Soldier's Wife Crazy Life. She talks about all things deployment, y'all. All things deployment. All right, ladies. Y'all ready? Clear your throat. Ready? Y'all know which version I'm going to sing, right?
No.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Julie. Come on, y'all, sing with me. Okay, we'll sing another version. Y'all don't know? Okay.
Good job.
Happy birthday, Julie.
Happy birthday,
Julie.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did it embarrass you?
Thank you. I have no words. Just thank you.
No words. All right. One last question. Actually, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm trying to work this screen and a girlfriend is struggling back here. So do a quick commercial break. Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold on. Because I want you to know about our social hour that is coming up on January 27th. All right. Hold on. All right. And we're back. And I am trying my best to work this screen and talk to y'all at the same time. Oh, the struggle is real. But we have social hour every fourth Thursday of the month. It is an opportunity for you to come in. It is closed. We do not stream it live. It is via Zoom, and it is social time. It is a time to meet other military spouses from around the globe. Make some friends. All right. Like, what you see right here is what you get. All right. We are live, real, and raw. And I am random as all get out. But we have lots of fun. Always lots of fun. So come on in and join us. All right. So final question. Final question. As I'm trying to get to my banner. Sorry, guys. This is our second show using this. I'm learning. Tell us one thing you wish you would have known about being a military spouse. Now, I know Yolanda had mentioned earlier about flexibility, but that is very important to have. And now you know that. You guys watching, you know coming in that you need to be flexible. And I roll with the punches all the time. Literally. I just be getting punched. I'm like, all right, cool. Get up. Let's do this again. I'm getting punched right now as I'm waiting for my husband to come through the door and tell me something that has changed like 10 times in the last 3 days. But that's all right. I'm just like, all right, whatever, dear, whatever. I'm cool. But anywho, tell us one thing you wish you would have known about being a military spouse. I'm going to start with Nishida. Go. Fire questions.
Okay. I wish I had known we were going to be in so long. Because just like Miss Yolanda said, like, I would have had my own career. I wouldn't have just followed my husband around everywhere. I would have stopped places to be like, hey, I need to stop and do this. I need to go over here. I need to go over there. I would have done that because it's just been such a long time.
Right.
I did not expect that. Like when I left my house to go to the military, I just needed a job. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be away forever. You know what I mean? I always went home. I went home all the time. And when, after I got married, it's like your obligation kind of turns away to your family and your husband. And I didn't really recognize that. I didn't know that. So I just never planned for it really. So I went to school and I got a degree, but I didn't really use it because I just didn't, I always thought, oh, we'll go these couple of places, but we've been overseas a long time. And like, I didn't know that either. I wish I had known that because I would have been like taking breaks. Like, wait a minute, I need to go home, like just not, I wish I had known there's an option to just not follow them around. Like, some spouses told me that. And I was like, no, you can't do that because that's a part of the indoctrination. Like I said, they talk to you differently on one side than the other. But on both sides, that's a theme. Oh no, your wife is in until you're not. Then when they don't want to be bothered with you, oh, you're not in their sea bag. You didn't come in a package, but when they want you to support the sailor or the whoever, whatever branch you're in, oh no, you're here to support. You have to be there for them when they get home. You have to do this. And there were spouses telling me, older spouses though. See, now I'm an older spouse. I know why they were telling me that. Because they're in that situation. They were telling me like, don't do this. It's okay. He'll be fine. You have a career. Go do what you're gonna do. Meet up with him somewhere else. You can, and I was just always like, no. How to be there. That indoctrination was strong. So I wish I had known what I know now is that I did buy a degree I don't use. So, Miss Yolanda, you can come on over to my club, except for you'll be using your degree. At least you'll have that. Now I'm looking at life like, wow, when he retires, I'm still on the hook. Like, oh, I'm still supposed to be supporting. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, I'm about to go do what I want to do. So it's like, that's what I wish I had put more thought into, that I have a life outside of him and the military.
Amen.
Right. And I wish I had known when I left my house and went to the military that I was just going to be gone so long, because looking back on it, it's like I've been gone a long time, and that was never my goal. Like a lot of people were like, I did leave home to get a job. I did leave home because they were kind of getting on my nerves. Old school people be like, you better get a job. What you gonna do? You better do something. It was like I followed an ad in the paper, and it was a recruiter. That's how I ended up in the military. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go in the military. No, they just start pestering you, and I was like, well, they pay pretty decent, and nowhere in that did I think to myself, I'm gonna be gone for 20 years. I'm gonna be gone for 30 years. So that's what I wish I had known, y'all. That's what I wish I had known.
I'll follow up on Nishida's because it kind of relates. But I'll flip it. And if I was marrying someone now into the military, I wasn't married, I'm marrying someone in the military, I wish someone told me that you were going to walk a fine line between finding yourself and losing yourself. Because I feel like between duty station changes, between orders changing, between having kids in the military, all the different things, all the aspects of life going on, you can sway either way from 1 hour to 24 hours to 2 weeks to years that you're in the military. You can lose yourself, you can find yourself. And that goes with Nishida, you know, when you go into this military spouse life, you kind of feel like, yes, you have to support. Yes, you have to be there, right? It's their mission. You're the backbone. You're the one at home. You're this and that. But we're people before the military. And you got to just keep that in your mind. So if I would have known that before, like Nishida, I would have dove into my career in the beginning. I would have maybe not followed right away because we were already settled. I had, you know, my dream job, all these different things going on. But the military, right? The military came and kind of disturbed that. And I let it do that. And so I wish I knew I had a choice. And I wish I knew you walked that line of losing yourself and finding yourself. And you can definitely find yourself if you put the right foot forward.
Yes. Yes. And that you are so right, Grace. It is a very fine line there. It's a very fine line. And I see spouses deer that line a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with Miss Yolanda. Like, I'm just gonna put it out there for y'all that things hit different when you are over 40. It's not the same. It's not the same. People tell you that when you're young and you think, you know, I always thought, because I never felt my age and I still don't feel my age, but I know my age, you know, and it's like your body knows, you know, it's just different. Like she's saying, do I even feel like doing this? You know, I ask myself that every day. I have to get up. When I was young, I felt like doing everything. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna put this laundry away. I'm gonna go over here. Now I'm like, who doing this? Who is doing this? I don't know who's doing this right now. It's not me. And the same thing is like, I wish I had known that too. That I just wasn't gonna. Sometimes you don't have the energy that you had, and sometimes you do. And it's a hit or miss every day for me, anyways. Like, so like Grace said, yeah, and what Miss Yolanda said, yeah. Like, some, you know, you can do it, of course. And you know, Miss Yolanda, you probably are gonna do it, but it still hits different in your mind the way you felt about it
Now,
20 years ago.
right? Like physically, I can go to class tomorrow. Like I said, I'm in my 50s. I got arthritis. I got heel spurs. I got all kind of problems, but I still can go to class. But the thing that gets me and stops me every day is I keep thinking about $200,000 in student loan debt, and I said no.
Right, which you probably wouldn't have even thought about when you were younger. Maybe
Thank you.
you would have been like,
Thank
"Oh, I
you.
got time.
Absolutely.
I got time to do this." And we still have time. It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
Time.
It's not. Like I said, if some celebrity out there or whoever, somebody that's rich wants to pay for mine, I will go tomorrow. But that $200,000, I just can't do it.
Once you pause yourself, it's hard to resume. So don't pause yourself. Just keep going.
True.
Keep going.
Yes.
That's true.
Yep.
So true.
Keep it
Take
going.
the first step into something small, and then it'll lead to something bigger.
And for sure, there are spouses out there who continue their careers. I'm not trying to make it seem like,
right.
Yeah.
You know, there are spouses out there who are my age who decided that they were like, oh, and some of them that their husbands wanted them to do that. You know, so. I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, like every single spouse went through what I'm going through, but I'm just saying that's what I went through.
Right.
I would say a good majority went through what you're going through. A good majority feel that same way.
It is, and I hate to see, and I like to tell other especially younger spouses, and like, you know, like I can't remember nobody's name, but the yellow shirt, yellow sweater.
Grace.
Like she said, you lose yourself. You do, and I'll tell anybody. I love my husband, but if I had known what I know now, how about come back and we can talk about this once I finish school and I finish law school, then we can do this. But like I said, I can't backtrack, but if I could, I probably wouldn't be sitting in this chair right now. So but you know, it is what it is. And like I said, a lot of people think it's peaches and cream. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, because I do live a well life. I don't have to work for anything. I don't need for anything. But for me, that's not the point. The point is how about putting yourself first? How about, like, not losing yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, I mean, I've been there. I was real funny about who could keep my kids, which was pretty much nobody. So I seriously, it really, I mean, they thank me now, but when I was younger, they used to say I was mean and blah blah blah. But they did come to me and say, you know what, we see why you were the way you were. It's like, you're not around family, and like I said, it's just too much happening in the world, and it's actually getting worse. And we don't have grandkids, so now, and like I told them, I mean, some people may say, "Oh my gosh, you said that." I honestly don't know if I want grandkids, because I'm going to be constantly worried about, are they being taken care of the way I want to? Don't let nobody keep them. If you bring them to my house first, and it's just, yeah, I don't know if I want to do all that. Especially, like I said, with him working, flying and stuff, I can pretty much go wherever I want to go
Where you
in the
want.
world. So it's like last night he was talking about a pet. I don't have a pet either, so it's like last night my daughter's like, "Are you gonna ever get a pet?" I said, "I doubt it." She was like, "Don't you?" I said, "I think they're adorable." I said, "I probably would be absolutely over the hills in love." I said, "But the thing is, I'm going to probably treat that pet the way I did you guys. I'm not gonna want nobody to keep it. I'm not gonna." I'm not. She was like, "They can board." I said, "No, I don't want my dog on a board at home." It's just so many things. So it's just like right now, I just wanna, like last week, I flew with my husband to Atlanta because he's home based out of there, Atlanta, for literally 24 hours. Came back. It was a good little nice break, and and back home. Thinking about going somewhere next week. So yeah, outside of not having a degree, I think I'm living pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you are. And I
Yeah.
have a pet for you, Yolanda. Carlos is still here.
No, Carlos.
He loves
No.
sitting on the couch with you.
No.
Send him your way.
Come on my couch. No.
Lori, tell us what you wish you would have
I think
known.
mine
No,
kind of
no,
goes.
that wasn't the question. Hold on. I lost my question. Lord Jesus. Yeah, the one thing that you wish you would have known.
I kind of along the same line of Grace, and is, you need to thrive and not just survive. Like, you follow your dreams, you follow your goals, and just really just go after it. Like, I wish I would have known when I came in what military or what careers were transferable. I wish I would have thought
Right.
more about that so that I could have put my time and effort into that. And then just really, like, if he's deployed, you don't have to be sad and just sit at home and wait. Like, you're not waiting. Like, learn a new skill, make new friends, go do something else. Like, you can still live your life and have fun and thrive, and stop letting the military happen to you, and just make it, you're happening to the military. You're going to change, the course. So that's kind of what I wish I would have known, because I just kind of was like, oh, he's gone. I guess I just sit here and twiddle my thumbs. And then, like, a spouse who was retiring, she was like, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to survive this journey. She was like, you go after it. So then, that kind of changed my perspective. But thrive, like, learn a new skill, go after your career, lose weight, whatever it is your goal is to do. Don't wait till the next duty station. Don't wait till the next tour is over. Don't wait till the next deployment. You live your life, you support your husband, your spouse, and they support you, and go for it. Just live. And it's not I always call it the military spouse community. People kind of treat it like a summer camp. They're always talking about stuff, and everybody's in everybody's business. Like, get at that mindset. You do you, and just go for it. So I wish I would have known that.
Those are very good points. I'm going to go to Julie next, but I'm going to piggyback on Lori real quick. I came in, my poor husband, when he met me, I was like, look, this is who I am. This is what I'm about, and this is what I'm going to do. Take it or leave it. And that has been my attitude ever since we got married. Again, I stood at the altar and didn't even dawn on me that he was in the military, right? Until I do. But I have always had that mindset of, hey, yo, I'm Sybil. I'm always like, I'm Sybil Roddy Jones, because my maiden name is Roddy. And people are like, what? Yeah, if I'm coming in hard at you about something, I am introducing myself to you as Sybil Roddy Jones. Jones is the soft side of me. Roddy, But I think if one thing I wish I would have known is how much we would move. Now, I love moving. I look forward to every PCS. I'm not going to lie. Because, yes, I'm that person that's like, okay, I get to move away from you. I said that out loud. Yes,
It's so true.
Sybil.
Hey,
I just mentally move away from them. They're fine. I could stay in one place for a long time and just be like, I don't need to
Absolutely.
physically move.
yeah, I wish I would have known how much we moved, but I love it. I look, every 2 years, I'm ready to roll out. I'm like, let's go. Where's the next adventure? So yeah, that would probably be the one thing I would say I wish I would have known about being a military spouse, because everything else, I roll with it, and I'm going to show up as me wherever I am. Even right now, during the time of me trying to figure out who I am, I know y'all are like, what? So for you guys that are watching, because I am doing it, y'all. I'm sharing my story more. So a little bit, I had an unexpected stroke on April 17th at my husband's farewell. See, y'all, look, I'm going to make sure I'm always the center of attention. No, just kidding. I had a stroke at his farewell. And I have been, from then till now, I've been trying to figure out my new space, right? So it's really weird right now. I'm not going to lie. It's a very weird, awkward place that I'm in. But I'm always going to show up as me. Although right now, hey, you might be a little confused of which one I may be a little confused. But it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, as far as what I wish I would have known, how much we would move. But again, I love it. Anywho, Julie.
I wish I would have realized that even if I was having a really hard time, or it was really frustrating, or it was really mad, that was okay. And that's just a part of the process. And that doesn't mean that I'm weaker or shouldn't be a military spouse or can't do this or can't support my husband. It just is the way I'm going to get through things. You know what I mean? So that's kind of, instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, like we never should have done this, or how could I even do this? Just being like, okay, this is a hard time and I'm going to get through it. And then it's going to get easier, and then it's going to get hard again. And that's just going to be like like a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like, it is okay wherever you are in your journey. It's okay. It's okay, as Julie said, it's okay to go in there and cry if you need to cry. It's okay to laugh, because, hey, yo, people are like, do you miss your husband when he's away? I'm like, yeah. You don't act like it. Oh, well, how are you supposed to?
Look, I'm acting the way I'm acting.
Right?
People never even believe I'm married. They're like, you are lying.
I mean, the truth is we all handle the same situation differently. And we all might have different emotions about it. And for me, I'm a crier, and Sybil is not a crier. And so we might go through the exact same thing, but like, I'd be crying about it all the time. That's just how I process it. And you would process it a different way. So
yeah,
just not like looking at, like, feeling bad about myself, or feeling like, oh my gosh, we can't do that. I can't do this anymore. Like, what are we doing? Instead of having like that mindset, having more of like, okay, this is the man I married, and this is what he's doing, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's okay to feel like that too. I'm sick of this. Like, I'm sick of this crap. I ain't doing it no more. And then tomorrow I'll be like, I'm fine. Because I could be quite like that sometimes myself. Like, I'm
And it's
done.
all good. It's all
2
good.
minutes later, I'm all right. And I agree with Lori. Like, Lori made some good points too. I think everybody made very good points. I agree with y'all.
Everybody did.
Yeah. And thank you guys for tuning in. We have some comments. I did share some on the screen. I'm going to pop this one in from Miss White. She talked about focused on keeping the family going during deployments and make sure that you always take care of yourself.
Yep.
That is one thing, the most important thing.
Yep.
Make sure that you are taking care of yourself because, hey, you can get caught up in volunteering and lose your well-being. So always make sure you are taking care of yourself, whether they're deployed or home. See, I was about to say out to sea because, you know, neighbors, we're going out to sea.
Not everyone goes out to sea.
Everyone doesn't go out to sea. So
some people go to the desert.
Yeah.
Or the jungle or wherever.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Join us the first Thursday of February. We will be right back here, same time, with another episode of The Conversations. Thank you to USAA for being our sponsor. If you would like to tune in and join us and come behind the scenes and actually have a real well, we are having a real conversation, but you actually get to talk to us. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you. Say goodnight to the conversation starter. Sorry, guys. I just clicked y'all off. I was like, bye.